Watch this till end what undermines a man's worth in a woman's perception more swiftly than deceit or infidelity. It's not what most assume. Often, it's the subtle ways he relinquishes his authority, unconscious behaviors that erode her admiration, respect, and desire. This isn't about manipulation. It's about safeguarding your integrity, your masculine essence, and the core of your identity. Today, I'll outline 6 critical missteps a man must avoid in his interactions with a woman, and why each exacts a steeper cost than you might realize. First, never plead for her attention. There exists an unspoken dynamic between men and women, one that transcends words and hinges on the energy you project. The instant you pursue her attention as if it were vital to your existence, you signal that her time and validation outweigh your self-respect. In that moment, the balance of power shifts. Many men believe relentless pursuit demonstrates devotion, sending multiple texts when she doesn't respond, over-explaining why she should care, or reshaping plans at the faintest hint of her availability. But this doesn't kindle desire, it quietly conveys emotional neediness. Neediness repels attraction because attention that's demanded lacks value. It feels contrived, forced, and hollow. When your actions stem from fear of losing her interest, fear of being overlooked, fear of inadequacy, that anxiety permeates your tone, your words, and even your timing. She senses it instinctively, without needing to dissect it. And what she perceives isn't strength, it's insecurity cloaked in flattery. The stark reality is this: women are drawn to men who don't rely on them for emotional validation. They're captivated by men who value themselves so highly that they'd walk away rather than beg for notice. Authentic desire is reciprocal. Genuine connection flows effortlessly. When you chase someone who offers tepid responses or mixed signals, you step into an emotional quagmire. The harder you strive, the deeper you sink. A man of true worth doesn't overextend to be seen. He carries himself with quiet conviction. I know my value. If you don't recognize it, that's your loss, not my burden. Such resolute self-assurance speaks louder than any rehearsed line. The less you pursue, the more respect you command. The less you plead, the more intrigue you inspire. And the more you hold your ground, the more likely a worthy woman will engage without prompting. Understand this: you're not proving your worth to her, you're revealing that you already possess it. Second, never disclose insecurities prematurely. There's a delicate balance between authentic vulnerability and emotional overexposure, and crossing it too soon can dismantle attraction before it takes root. Vulnerability, when offered from a place of strength, fosters intimacy. It communicates, I trust you enough to reveal my truth. But unloading unresolved fears or deep wounds too early doesn't build closeness. It creates unease. Why? In the early stages, the relationship lacks the foundation to bear such emotional weight. Instead of seeing you as a confident man with a nuanced past, she may feel burdened, as though cast as your therapist or emotional anchor. This shift is fatal to attraction, as it dissolves the polarity that sparks connection. It's not about concealing your humanity, it's about timing. Allow trust to develop organically, sharing your story when the moment is right. Share when the bond has been tested and mutual investment is clear. Early overexposure often stems from a subconscious craving for validation. Hoping she'll soothe or affirm you. But that's not vulnerability, it's emotional delegation. Women admire men who bear their own emotional weight. Men who feel deeply yet remain steadfast under their emotions wait. When you've processed your insecurities, you can share them without burdening her, as part of your journey, not a plea for rescue. The key is composure. Vulnerability rooted in strength invites connection. Vulnerability born of desperation repels it. She'll sense the difference immediately. Third, never tolerate disrespect. Every relationship rests on mutual respect, and the boundaries you establish early determine whether that foundation endures. The moment you overlook a disrespectful remark or excuse passive-aggressive behavior with "it's not worth addressing," you implicitly signal that your dignity is negotiable. Disrespect isn't always overt. It can be subtle, a biting, sarcastic comment, a dismissive jab at your ambitions, or a failure to acknowledge your efforts. Ignoring these moments sets a perilous precedent. A man of substance discerns playful teasing from toxic erosion of respect and addresses the latter with calm resolve, not anger or theatrics. Sometimes this means direct communication. "I don't appreciate that tone." Other times, it means stepping back to reset the dynamic. Silence in the face of repeated disrespect doesn't foster harmony. It breeds resentment and invites further disregard. When she sees you'll accept diminishment to preserve the relationship, her respect wanes and attraction soon follows. Fourth, never make her your sole focus. One of the gravest errors men commit is abandoning their own lives upon meeting a woman they cherish. They neglect their goals, hobbies, and friendships, all to prioritize her happiness. Initially, this devotion may seem flattering, but over time, it stifles her. She senses you lack an identity beyond her, and nothing extinguishes polarity faster than a man without purpose. Women don't want to be your entire universe. They want to join a vibrant, thriving world, one that exists and flourishes independently of them. A man with ambition and direction is magnetic because he is complete in himself. When you orbit her existence, you imply your purpose hinges on her presence. That's not devotion, it's dependency. Dependency creates pressure for her to be your sole source of fulfillment, which suffocates desire. A man of value remains anchored in his mission. His purpose doesn't waver for romance. That steadfastness is what sustains romance. She admires him because he cherishes her deeply, yet never more than his own growth. Fifth, never attempt to control or reshape her. Control is a swift path to eroding trust, often masked as concern. "I'm only trying to help." Control signals, "I don't accept you as you are." Whether it's dictating her choices, scrutinizing her friendships, or constantly correcting her traits, attempting to mold her reflects insecurity. Even if she acquiesces temporarily, resentment festers. Your role isn't to sculpt her into your ideal, it's to inspire her through your example. People don't change because they're told to, they change when inspired by a standard they admire. A man of worth doesn't evaluate a woman against a checklist. He lives by his own principles and lets her choose whether to meet them. Love thrives in acceptance, not in relentless oversight. Sixth, never forsake your masculine core. Your masculine core is your foundation, the steady presence that holds firm amid chaos. Losing it risks the respect and attraction that sustain a relationship. Holding your core doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means feeling them without letting them dictate your actions. It's staying composed when tested, upholding boundaries without bending to appease. Women test your resolve, not out of malice, but to feel the strength of a man who remains unshaken under pressure. Reacting with anger, neediness, or frantic fixes reveals instability, which undermines the safety central to attraction. A man who holds his core leads with quiet confidence, sidestepping unnecessary drama and seeking no external validation. His consistency distinguishes him in a world where men either bury their emotions or are overwhelmed by them. This emotional sovereignty, owning your responses, values, and presence without compromise, earns lifelong respect. Ultimately, you don't lose a woman because you're insufficient. You lose her when you forsake yourself to keep her. Guard your strength, uphold your dignity, and know that the right woman will never demand you sacrifice your self-respect to stay. If this resonated, engage with this content, subscribe InspireX for more insights, and share it with someone who needs this perspective today.